Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about one of the most powerful tools we have in our business arsenal, the business event. Whether it's a private reception, whether it's a super Saturday or a team night, or it might be convention. Events are not just meetings, they're moments of transformation. But for that transformation to happen, we need to be intentional. We need a blueprint. So today I'm breaking down the anatomy of a business event step by step so that every event we host leaves people inspired, informed, and motivated and ready to take action. Number one, begin with the end in mind. Ladies and gentlemen, preparation is the key. Before anyone walks in the room, before the music starts, and before the speaker grabs the mic, we need to have a clear goal. What's the purpose of the event? What do we want people to walk away with? Do we want them to apply? Do we want them to upgrade? Do we want them to join? Do we want them to schedule a follow up? We book an event from an event. So let's prepare for the result. Have your game or icebreaker ready. Make sure you have a notepad or something available for your guests so they can take notes. Have your vortex links and absolutely have your application. You should not be showing up at an event without your vortex link. You can make something cute that you can give them, a little flyer with your vortex link, or you could just text it to them so that they have it. But you also want to go into your back office and make sure that you have your applications. Do not show up at an event without your applications. Don't depend on the host or the director or the leaders to have applications for your guests. This is your business. So you want to make sure you're showing up and you are prepared. You know what? At our weekly meeting, I ask people to bring their laptops or their tablets. So if their guests are ready to get started, they can actually sign them up right on the spot. You also want to have prizes or incentives. Perhaps if you're close to your bonus, you may want to offer an incentive. What about $100 rebate if somebody gets started today? If you're about to earn $1,000, why couldn't you give them $100 if they get started as a TTP executive? Or maybe it's a little prize. Go when things are on sale, you can find unaffordable maybe desk drives on at Office Depot, or different prizes that you can give, or maybe it's different incentives that you can give as well. But anything you want to have something to give them. At our weekly meeting, we offer a 3-day, 2-night getaway voucher that we can give people. Michelle, I know recently I asked everybody in the DMV to bring their laptops to the weekly meeting. And we were on our way to the weekly business reception, and there was an accident, and we got caught in traffic. I was so impressed and so pleased that by the time we got there, you had the presentation up and you were ready, poised and ready to start the presentation for our guests, whether we got there or not. That's leadership. Can you talk about this area in terms of beginning with the end in mind?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And thank you for that. And it's all about leadership, and it's all about being coachable, and it's all about following the direction of our director. And it's about leverage and teamwork. So, in this area, you want to make sure that, because we're working to help everybody get paid. So we want to make sure that we show up and then we work on the behalf of our team and our fellow associates. So yes, you empower us and you instill in us to be prepared. Have your laptop, have everything ready for the meeting. And as one of the, executives on the board for the DMV in the past, we since dissolved that, but I still work in that capacity because you are the director that sponsors this meeting. So I support that wholeheartedly. So yeah, I stay prepared as you have taught me. Have your laptop. Have your laptop. Oh yeah, Michelle, have your laptop. So I listened and I had it. So sure enough, it was necessary that, I serve as your backup and make sure that the meeting stayed on point, and that you have to keep that in mind if you're starting a meeting, if you're sponsoring a meeting. All those who are sponsoring it, your leaders, they should be prepared. They should treat that meeting as if it's their own, and be prepared with everything. Have your laptop, have your clicker, have your cords, have your chargers, have your applications, have the sign-in sheets, have all of that, because you may be the one that needs to set it up and set it out. And that was the case. And I'm so happy that I was able to fill in a gap for you and make sure that the meeting could start as planned. And not only that, you have to be prepared to do the presentation. If you either play it or you say it. And I'm prepared in either case to do that and be able to step in. So those are certainly key elements that you have to keep in mind as leadership, and if you want to market and promote and grow your business. And definitely back to you.
Awesome. So always remember, events are won or lost before they even begin. Begin with the end in mind. Number 2, be on time, which means early. Let's make this crystal clear. Leaders arrive early. When you show up 30 minutes early, you're not just avoiding lateness, you're setting the atmosphere. You help set up the room. You make sure the technology works. You greet your guests. You show people that, hey, this really matters. And they can see how important it is to you. So it's so important to show up and be on time. If you're supposed to start at 7:30, be walking through the door by 7 o'clock. Better yet, 6:45. Being early is not just about time, it's about the leadership presence. Number 3, welcome and introduce the speaker. Let me tell you, every event needs energy at the front of the room. You got to have that energy at the front of the room. So when you're doing a travel party, you want your guests, you want your energetic partners at the front of the room, because that sets the tone. So your job is to welcome everybody warmly. Make sure you're shaking hands. Make sure that they see your smile. Make sure you make them feel happy to be there and that this was the right decision for them to show up. Then you want to set expectations. Tonight, you're going to hear a life-changing opportunity. Make sure you keep your minds open. And then you want to introduce the speaker with credibility and excitement. Share their name, a quick highlight reel, and why they're worth listening to. Now, we know that we want to make sure we edify our leadership, and we are going to use the 4 principles of fun, help, money, and facts. That's right. So we want to say, hey, you're going to hear from someone who loves to have fun. They know all the facts of this business. They love to help people, and they've created all kinds of success and made money in this business. So when you introduce the speaker like that with credibility, they have no objection to listening. So you might say our next speaker is a dynamic leader who's helped hundreds start their own business and is passionate about creating 10,000 millionaires. Please help me welcome and that speaker's name. Make that introduction count. It's the bridge between information and inspiration. Michelle, did you have anything you'd like to add to how to welcome, how to open the meeting? I know you've done this countless of times. Did you have any tidbits you'd like to add?
Well, I mean, you just hit it right on the nose, because you're opening, you set the tone of the meeting, and you want everyone to feel welcome. But most important is you want to edify the speakers who are going to be presenting information as the experts on the subject. And you just have to be confident. You have to be excited, energized about starting the meeting and get everyone's attention in setting that tone. So you absolutely, nailed that about, setting the environment and welcoming and introducing the speakers, because that's so important in how you energize and set the tone of the room because you're bringing up the best and nothing less for your guests.
Well,
Absolutely.
also, Michelle, I want to have a quick conversation with you because when I got started, I felt like the edification process was feeding that director's ego. Like I was pumping them up. I didn't understand that I'm really edifying, not for the person in the front of the room, but for the guest. And so that is a different way of thinking about that because a lot of people feel like, oh, I'm not going to edify them. They're not all that to me. But guess what? The more you edify the person in the front of the room, the more your guests pay attention. And guess what? The higher your probability is of getting a new business partner. So did you have to learn that too, or did you automatically get it?
Well, it's kind of a combination because I had the utmost respect and admiration for the guests. I mean, for the speakers I'm introducing, of course, you and Nick. But it is so important that you do understand that you want to hit the hot spots for the guests. You want them to know that the information that they're getting ready to listen to is going to be presented by someone that has their interest in at heart. You want them to know that there's someone who is fun, that there's someone who has the knowledge of the information and that they have captured it very well, that they know what they're talking about, that they made the money that they're going to be talking about, and they can absolutely help people and they have a heart. So you want to convey that because one of those four points is going to hit on the hot spot for the guests that you have in front of the room. And you want them to perk up and be like, oh, wow, yeah, I want to listen to them because, I'm that person that likes to help. Oh, yeah, I'm that person that want to have fun. I'm so happy that they could get it done. And they know what they're talking about because you have those detailed people that won't know everything. So, and then the money. Some people are about their business and that bank. So you want to hit on all those points. So you're edifying the speakers as to be qualified to address your guests, but you want your guests to know that they are someone can absolutely address the needs and the things that appeal to them the most. So I had to learn that, but I also was aware of that. But it came easy as I became as I got to know you and Nick better as leaders, and that's important too. It's valued when you really get to know the leaders and your executives in the room. That way, you can speak to it a little bit more genuinely. So yes, back to you, Ann.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, that is phenomenal. Well, guess what? Number 4 is the presentation. Keep it tight. So if you're doing the presentation, then you want to make sure that you are succinct and you're getting through. Don't talk too much. So this is not a TED Talk. It's not a Netflix series or an audiobook. This is a business opportunity. Here's the truth. Attention spans are short. The magic number is about 20 to 30 minutes max. After that, energy dips. So during the presentation, keep the slides simple and clean. Focus on benefits more than features. Make sure the speaker shares a success story or a testimony. Make sure that it includes vision, but always connect it back to the person in the seat. We're not trying to overwhelm them. We're trying to spark belief. And so just remember, the audience can read the slides. You don't have to read it for them. And this is something I have to tell myself. If you just basically stick to a couple of key points, that is going to be absolutely amazing. So you want to make sure that you're definitely focusing on the presentation. Now, Michelle, I know we call you the lady with rhymes, or the lady with the rhyme on time. And so I'm wondering, what is it that you think about having the presentation succinct and not necessarily depending on reading all the slides?
Well, you know what, Ann? I focus on being authentic and making it relatable to the guests. Not so much reading it, but just imagine and just having a conversation, not so much a presentation. But, when I kind of rhyme in time, it kind of helps me get through it and makes it more comfortable for me, but it also makes it realistic for the guests as I'm doing it. So you just have to find your own method and your own niche, but still keep it in sync with the slide, because after all, it is a training. If they do get involved, then they see themselves doing what you're doing in the front of the room. So you want it to be duplicatable, right? But again, going back to what you were saying, facts tell, but stories sell. So when you tell a story, you are telling a story from your perspective, to making it more relatable and more realistic for your guests, so that they can see themselves in that opportunity, and then working for them in the same way. And they can put themselves in your shoes and say, wow, I experienced that too. Or that's what I'm going through. And yeah, I can do this because you did it too. So absolutely, Ann, absolutely.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, number 5 is have an effective close. Don't miss this opportunity. This is the moment that absolutely matters. You've educated them, you've inspired them, and now it's time to call them to action. A great close includes a summary of what's possible, a sense of urgency, and clear next steps. The great thing about our presentation is that the great thing about our presentation is that at the end of the presentation, when they start talking about the opportunity is knocking at your door, the great thing about it is somebody in the audience always knocks at their door. So the visual, the sound effects are great. But that's your key to wrap things up, to begin talking about the possibilities. And then you could also talk about the opportunity of the pipeline that's going to be executed in August. So, and then what are the next steps? We always say, get back with the person who invited you. So that, and then what I've started saying is tell that person who invited you whether you're a number 1, a number 2, or a number 3, and get back with the person that invited you. So you don't want to let the energy fizzle out. You want to say something like, hey, you've seen the vision, you've heard the stories. The only thing left is what you decide to do. Don't let this moment pass. Don't miss this opportunity. And that's the kind of close that converts curiosity into commitment. Number 6, give the gift of an application and prizes. Lastly, always end with a gift. You might want to have a QR code ready for guests to fill out an application or request more information. You may want to celebrate the first person to apply. Always clap, always make an announcement, make it a big deal. And if you have a gift for them, present them with their gift in front of the audience. Why? Because that now prompts somebody else to say, oh, well, I'm going to get started too. They beat me to it. I'm getting started too. Oh, I want to get started too. So you always want to celebrate and put that person on blast. Now, you also want to give out a prize or some sort of recognition. You want to give the prize to the people who brought guests, or maybe you want to give a prize to the first person who signs up. Maybe you might want to give a prize to the person who has now become a team builder. You want to make sure you're giving out that recognition and those prizes right in front of everybody, again, so that it adds to your energy. See, people remember how you made them feel. And when they walk out the door with a smile, a gift, and a clear next step, you creating an experience, not just an event. So let me wrap this up with this. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be intentional. The anatomy of a business event isn't complicated, but it is critical. Prepare with purpose. Show up early. Welcome with warmth. Present with power. Close with conviction. And always, always, always finish with value. Because someone's breakthrough could be sitting in your next event, it's up to you to deliver the experience that unlocks it. Let's make our next event the best event yet. Our next event today is our virtual event later on this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. 7 p.m. Central. I'm going to send out a link so that your guests can register. The reason I want your guests to register is it makes it easier for me to send out the 3-day 2-night vacation voucher, getaway voucher, if I already have their email addresses. So that way I don't have to depend on you to give me their email addresses. I could just get their email, download it, and send it out collectively to all the guests and all the participants on the presentation. So this next presentation, and we're going to start doing this, I'm going to add the registration so that everybody attends gets that 3-day 2-day, that 3-night 2-day 3-night, 3-day 2-night vacation voucher. That was I don't know why that was a tongue twister. So with that being said, I want to hear from the participants we have on the line today. I love to hear what you got from this training. But first and foremost, I'd like to hear from Miss Michelle Thomas, who is one of the leaders on our team that definitely hosts travel parties. She has actually been, she's an integral part of our weekly business reception. She is also very, very knowledgeable in putting together events and just a recognized leader. And she just earned another $1,000 bonus. And so, Michelle, was there anything that you'd like to add today that maybe we didn't talk about when someone is doing a presentation, a hotel presentation, or if they're doing a travel party? I know one thing that I always do for my travel parties is that I never put out too many chairs. That's one thing that we don't talk about. And we even do that in our weekly meeting. We don't have extra chairs and stuff. We just say, hey, if we set up the number of chairs of the people we think are going to be there. And then if someone else comes, we bring a chair out for that person. Why? Because we want the guests to say, oh my goodness, they had more people than they expected. So they had to bring out chairs. We don't want them to say, oh man, they had all these chairs set up and only 5 people came. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that to your travel party. You don't want to do that for a presentation. You want to make sure that you are actually, the chairs are in the back somewhere. You actually have your chairs set for the number of people that you think are going to come. And then if more people come, then you bring out more chairs, which creates more excitement and creates a better story. Michelle, what tidbits would you add?
Well, you know what? Those are great, Ann, and everything that you pointed out today regarding being prepared, having, the preparation is key for your meetings. But I just want to appeal to all of the executives that you just need to show up for showtime, because all the events are so important. And if you feel less compelled to be there because you're telling yourself, well, I don't have a guest. No, like you always say, Ann, when you show up and you have a guest, you are showing up to earn. But if you come by yourself, you're coming to learn. And that is so important because you have value. You add value to the meeting just by being there. And you're supporting the meeting, and you are edifying the meeting, and you are bringing your energy, and it's showtime, right? Everyone that's in the room is setting an example for your guests. You may not have a guest, but your fellow exec is going to have a guest. So you're showing up for their guests. We're helping everybody get paid. And you may be a nurse, or you may be a bus driver, or you may be a lawyer, and that guest may be the same. So we need affinity executives there that can be compelling to your guests. Even if you just got started, it's like, oh my goodness, Richard, he is a lawyer and he is on his way, and he sees a way for himself to be on path for all of this money that's going to be earned. He loves to help people too. So you're edifying, your other executives who may be in this same situation. So you just have to keep that in mind, and don't think about it as, I don't have any guests, I don't need to come. Be there for everyone else to set the tone, be excited, and be supportive for the meeting, because you're showing up for the meeting and you're there to learn. And even if it goes for a travel party as well, like Ann said, when it's a travel party, you want to start on time and you don't want to go, you want to keep it simple, because everything that you're doing is a training for your guests. From the moment you encounter them to the moment they sign up, they are observing everything, the way you run the meeting, the way that they got introduced to the opportunity, the things that they see themselves having to do. It's all about duplication. So you want to keep it as simple as possible, and you want to start on time, and you don't want to be sitting there waiting for other guests to come when you have two in the room. You don't want to make your guests feel like their presence isn't important. It's like they're there, but it don't matter. Oh, it matters very much, and make them feel like it does. Don't worry about if your other guests haven't come yet. Focus on the people who are already there and value their time, and start on time with them. And also always be prepared to do the presentation, because you don't know, Nick and Ann may have a flat on the way and you may have to do it anyway. So practice, even if you have to just push play, just be prepared and always kind of position yourself to be in position for success. So everything that you said, and that's just pretty much, what I had in mind, and what to add, just the importance of showing up, because it benefits everyone. And you're there to learn, as a newbie or as a seasoned person, because your time is going to come. So anyway, back to you, Ann.
Wow, Michelle, at our weekly business reception just this last Thursday, I thought that I had forgotten my clicker. But when I looked in my bag and the clicker was there, it was just under something else. Therefore, I didn't set it up. Now, when it got time to do the presentation, I was prepared to just actually not have the clicker, but actually just begin to advance the screens manually from my laptop, because my laptop was right there. I thought it was very, very nice and very good that Brian, another leader in our area, offered the clicker and said, hey, I've got mine. But I also thought, maybe it might have been more powerful if I had just used my own, because it would have shown the guests, hey, you don't necessarily have to have a clicker, and you don't have to be perfect. And I felt that change in the clicker and all of that stuff really added a little disruption to the meeting. So my lesson to myself after it all happened was, hey, if you don't have the clicker, just go with don't announce you don't have the clicker, just go with the flow. And then if someone wants to give the clicker, that's fine, but that is not worth breaking the flow of the meeting. What was your opinion on that? I could see it both ways, because it showed teamwork, that hey, you don't have to be perfect, that teamwork, yep, somebody else always has your back. But it also showed that maybe I didn't necessarily, that wasn't really something that I needed to do, especially since the laptop was right there. What was your thought?
You know what, Ann? I think I see it both ways. I think there was a positive message either way, because you were prepared to continue manually, but it also showed that you had backup, that we as executives operate as a team, and we're prepared to support you. So Brian showed up and he had his clicker ready, and it was kind of unfamiliar to you and trying to get it working at first. And then I came up and I said, well, hey, my clicker is just like yours. You can use it if you need to, but you got it working. But I think that it showed, number one, everything is not going to be perfect, but we help each other and help you be prepared to move on. But if it didn't work, it also showed that, hey, you can still keep it.
Okay, it looks like we lost Michelle. I'm not sure what happened. So Chris and Miss Alicia, I'd love to hear your comments. What you got from this training today, or if you'd like to add something as well.
I got a couple things. I'm going to pop right into where y'all left off on that one. My thought on that clicker and just using the laptop or a mouse, whatever. Hey, like I said, I see the point that she was making when she cut off about, it shows teamwork and continuity and everything. But I also like the fact of, hey, the be professional with it, but the more you look like it's not a professional presentation, the more it creates duplication, duplicate, you know what I'm trying to say, in someone else's mind. Like they think, oh, I could do better than that. And so then it's automatically a positive reinforcement in their mind to this is possible for me to do. That's
You're
my take
absolutely
on
right.
that part. Um, I do have one thing that, and you touched on it like on step two or three, I think, but like one thing that we were discussing earlier this week was, uh, you know, in set an intended vision with your guests. You know, we can talk about travel all day long, but if they ain't got no time, they ain't got no money, they're not going to care. So set that intent that, hey, this is our vision. We're going to build wealth. We're going to create time. You will get to travel, and we want you to help other people. You know, set those standards early. And finally, do have a question. Have you noticed a preference on getting signups between showing a video or just reading through the slide when you do presentations or
My
travel
preference,
parties?
it all depends. When we did the I okay. My preference is to read through the slides. Number one, because you're now in control of it and you can kind of add and inject based on what you may know about the
Right,
audience.
right.
When we have played the slides for instance, we did a fashion show, and when we played the presentation, I felt like people got it, but it was just like a commercial, like, you know, it was something that was playing. I don't think people really listened to it and got the information. We were able to follow up with people and now get them and book a meeting from a meeting, get them on a presentation. However, I think the presentation is much more effective based on what you're doing. In our brunch and in our tea and our fashion show, I felt that the video kind of kept the flow of the event and it explained what we were doing. And then we talked about some things. And I think what I could have done now and after the fact, I probably should have brought up some business owners to provide testimonies, which would really have definitely brought it home. However, I didn't do that, but it was still a great event, and we were able to follow up with our guests and get them on a full presentation and get their questions answered. So I think it depends on the event, it depends on the time that you have, and I really believe that if you can, the one-on-one is the most effective presentation you can have. But if not, then if you're going to do a group, then definitely do the presentation. But if you just need a snippet of information, don't not do anything, show the video. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. I just didn't know if you had a better conversion on one versus the other.
My conversion is always better on the presentation.
On the slides?
Yes, doing the slide.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I think people need to see that.
And I mean, I think it kind of keeps it, like you said, because you can inject any time, so you can make it more not hands-on, or more
personable
participation. Yeah, and participation out of it too. Versus, sometimes you start a video, and if that person got their camera off, you don't know if they walked away because you can't interact with them.
Exactly. And sometimes even if they have the camera off, I can see where the child may have come in the room, or their husbands, they have to talk to their husbands and that kind of stuff. And at that point, they've missed something. So sometimes when I'm actually doing the presentation, I'll stop and I say, okay, well, it looks like you're being pulled away. And then I'll
Right.
go back when they can, but you can't do that with the video.
Correct.
So yeah, I think you always have the best conversion rate when you actually do the presentation.
The slides. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're a great question. Miss Alicia, did you have any questions? I know you jumped on a little late, and this was covered on the View call on Friday, on yesterday morning, but I just think it was so important we wanted to cover it today, especially when we didn't have any guests come on this our 12 o'clock presentation. Did you have anything that you'd like to add, or was there a question that you'd like to ask?
No, everything was good that I heard.
Okay, awesome. Well, Michelle Thomas, we missed you. You kind of dropped off. You were going full speed, girl, and then I guess your whatever your phone said, "Look, I'm out."
Yes, it did, Ann.
But we really enjoyed what you had to say, and thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is recorded, and I will send a recording to you guys. I want to thank you for participating. I want to thank you for your questions and all that you've had. Thank you for your energy, and I want to remind you that we're doing this again on tonight at 8 p.m. And guess what? We're going to do it again, the same schedule tomorrow, Sunday, at 12 noon and also at 8 p.m. Just so we can kind of we want everybody to get a t-shirt, one of Coach's t-shirts at convention. So this is your opportunity. Let's close people out in either the SBA position or the TTP position, or let's focus on reactivating any of our team members as well. So this is to help you do that. And next week, we're going to be doing a presentation every evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to try to get as many people that want to be qualified, as possible, so that you can go on and close out your guests and you will be awarded the t-shirt at convention. So with that being said, y'all, thank y'all so much for joining us today. I see you back on the line at 8 with your guests. Y'all have a good night and God bless. And thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Anna.
Ann. Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you. It's recording.